This is Abbe. She's a student, an avid runner, and a mother of quadruplets.
I have 4 children. They are quadruplets, Anna, Katie, Luke, and Riley. They are almost 10 years old. They're a busy group of kids. They keep me on the go. Since they were babies, they've always been on the go. 4 very different children, but they have never slowed down since I gave birth to them. so we are on the move constantly. I have been running probably for the last 14 years, and I took it up after college just as a form of exercise and something to relieve stress. Now it is something I can't live without. As a mother, as a professional, as a student, I have a lot on my plate, and running allows me to just relieve stress and get fit, be active, have energy to stay up with my kids.
At the end of March 2013, Abbe was driving down a gravel road when she was involved in a life-changing experience.
I was involved in a rollover accident on a gravel road and just lost control of the vehicle. Gravel got up underneath my tires and I overcorrected, and the car rolled down the gravel road and landed upside down. It rolled several times. 3, 4, 5 times. As the car was rolling, I can remember thinking, I'm going to die. I'm not going to live. You think of all the what ifs and, oh my God, am I going to be there for my children? Am I going to get out of this? All of these things go through your mind. When I landed, I was upside down in the vehicle, buckled in, but there was blood on the steering wheel. It didn't really feel any pain at the time, but just very shooken up. And realized as I looked out the car window that I was in the middle of the road, and I immediately thought I needed to get out of the vehicle. And as I was crawling out the window, I noticed that my wrist was pretty much detached from my arm, and bones were protruding and sticking out, and kind of went into panic mode at that point, and all of a sudden I hurt. And got myself to the side of the road, and by luck, by chance, by faith, there was a family's home that I had landed in front of, and they came out and assisted me and called 911. You know, the hope was they would repair my arm, and I would be able to have movement and function and use my fingers, but there was a lot of uncertainty. I just wanted to be the same person I was. I wanted to be able to be a mom and function and run and do all of those things that I did prior to the accident. And obviously with any injury, there's always that risk that life will change. And I think that was one of my biggest fears was, would I walk away and be able to pick up where I left off? My arm was pretty serious. It was very banged up. And when I went to the hospital, they admitted me to the trauma ward, and the ER physician at the time, there was really no question as to who they would refer me to, and it was Dr. Gove's the best. This is who's going to be performing your surgery. And so when I met them, it was very comforting. You know, I felt like I was in really good hands, that I was not only in the hands of capable physicians, but physicians that cared honestly about my well-being. You know, they weren't just there to perform the surgery and get out. They were there to perform the surgery and do it well, and make sure that the end result was regaining the use of my arm and my hand. You know, when I think of Dr. Gove, I think of regaining my ability to use my arm. I mean, to regain my life back. You don't realize how one small aspect of your body can control such big parts of your life. And I use my hands for everything, you know, whether I'm hugging my children or brushing somebody's hair or fixing breakfast. All of those things I would have had to give up in some way, shape, or form. Dr. Gove, he was always very positive in his approach with me, and always took into consideration what my needs were as a patient. I was treated as a mom of quads, a runner, a busy professional, a student, and he took all of those aspects of my own personal life into consideration as he was helping me recover.
Beyond recovery, Abbe had her own milestone. 3 months prior to her accident, she had begun training for the Lincoln Half Marathon. an important goal she was afraid she would not complete.
Well, I started training for the half marathon. It was a huge deal for me because I had tried to sign up for the Lincoln Half Marathon the year before and I didn't get in on time. I was committed to doing it. I had trained and worked my tail off after the accident. There was still some question as to whether or not that was something I was going to be able to do. I think Dr. Gove was very supportive. He knew that that was important to me. And so I got back on that treadmill 3 weeks to the day of the accident. And I think the accident gave me even more of a push to say, you know what? All of you who think I can't do this, watch me. I ran it and I finished it. And as I was running, I ran right by my physical therapist who had a water stand out and kind of did one of these. And I saw him and Dr. Gove the following week, and they were all, amazed that, my arm still looked good. I hadn't been any damage. Everything was fine. And in the end, it turned out to be a really positive experience.
At Lincoln Orthopaedic Center, our doctors are expertly prepared to provide you and your loved ones with compassionate and comprehensive orthopedic care. Come experience Lincoln Orthopaedic Center and Surgery Center.
Overall, my care at LOC was amazing. You go into something like this with so much uncertainty as to what the end result will be, and I never once felt that I wasn't getting the best care possible. I never questioned that I wouldn't regain movement in my hand. I never questioned that I wouldn't be able to run that half marathon. I feel that they instilled so much hope in my progression and my progress. It was just an overall comfortable experience. I feel that I was able to entrust all of my care to both Dr. Gove and John and all of the staff, and that they knew what my needs were and they made sure that they were met. I would just like to say overall that I have a great deal of gratitude for Dr. Gove and all of the staff at LOC. The level of commitment that they show to all of the patients is very admirable. It's an extremely admirable part of their practice, and I don't think you get that everywhere you go.